Sometimes the car world moves so fast that we barely stop to think, what if someone made simplicity exciting again? What if a car reminded us that brilliance doesn't always come with a luxury badge or a six-figure price tag? Well, the 2026 Dacia Sandero is here to do exactly that, and it's not the Sandero you think you know. This one feels like a plot twist from a car movie you didn't see coming. Because while everyone else is chasing electric dreams with sky-high prices and tech overload, Dacia just dropped a bombshell. A compact hatch that looks sharp, drives like it's born for the city, and has a secret that'll make even the Germans nervous. When I first saw the car under the studio lights, the first thing that hit me wasn't the badge, but the design: sleek, bold, and far more confident than any Sandero before. The front grille has been completely reimagined, wider and sculpted with floating LED beams that look like piercing eyes. The bonnet lines ripple like muscle veins, and the lower bumper gives it an attitude that whispers, "I'm not just cheap anymore." Dacia has used its new design philosophy, called Pure Motion, a mix of aerodynamic efficiency and geometric precision. The Sandero now looks mature, sporty, and, surprisingly, kind of premium. You could easily mistake it for something twice its price if you covered the logo. From the side, the 2026 model sits lower, with a stretched stance and subtle chrome detailing that catches light beautifully at sunset. The rear gets a complete makeover: L-shaped LED taillights, an integrated spoiler, and a dual-tone bumper with real texture and a hint of aggression. It feels confident, almost daring. You look at it and you think, this can't be a Dacia. But it is. And that's the first shock. Now here's where the story gets interesting. Under the hood of the 2026 Dacia Sandero sits an all-new hybrid powertrain. Dacia calls it the EcoTorque 140. It's a 1.4-liter turbocharged hybrid system paired with a compact electric motor that together produce around 140 horsepower. Doesn't sound much on paper, but wait until you drive it. The acceleration is crisp, 0 to 60 in about 7.9 seconds, which for a Sandero, is wild. The steering is sharp, light in the city but firms up beautifully at high speed. On open roads, it feels planted, almost eager. The chassis has been re-engineered with what Dacia calls active ride balance, using micro-sensors that adjust damping 200 times per second. And the result? It glides through potholes like a much heavier, more expensive car. Even when you throw it into a bend, it doesn't roll or protest, it just sticks. The engineers clearly had fun this time. The gearbox, a new dual-clutch 7-speed automatic, is buttery smooth, no jerks, no hesitation. It's like Dacia finally got tired of being labeled budget, and decided to show what happens when you give affordability a personality. Step inside, and the surprises keep coming. The moment you close the door, you realize this is not the basic cabin you remember. Everything feels tighter, more solid. The materials: soft touch panels with brushed aluminum trims, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, and a 12-inch floating infotainment display that supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's even a built-in voice assistant that actually works. You can say, "Hey Dacia," and ask it to change temperature, adjust music, or find the nearest charging point. The digital cluster behind the steering is minimalist, clean, and modern. The seats are a revelation, supportive, with memory foam inserts that mold to your shape. The back seats fold flat. The boot is now 420 liters, massive for a car this size. And Dacia has quietly added ambient lighting around the dash, doors, and even footwells, giving the Sandero this understated luxury vibe at night. Sit inside and you'll catch yourself thinking, wait, this is supposed to be a cheap car. No, not anymore. But here's the part that blew everyone away, the tech. For the first time ever, Dacia is offering something they call Smart Sense 360. It's a semi-autonomous driving package that combines adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, and predictive braking, all tuned to work seamlessly. There's even a mode where the car can park itself in parallel or perpendicular spaces with zero input. It doesn't feel gimmicky, it feels natural, precise, almost like a quiet assistant that knows when to help. And the best part, Dacia didn't just copy what others are doing, they simplified it. Fewer menus, fewer distractions, just smart functionality that works every single time. It's minimalism done right. Now, Let's talk about range and efficiency, because that's where things start getting unbelievable. The 2026 Sandero Hybrid gives you a combined range of up to 850 miles on a single tank and charge combined. The small battery can give you around 50 miles of electric-only driving, perfect for daily commutes in the city. You can literally drive for days without touching a petrol station. The regenerative braking system has been upgraded to 3 modes, and in Urban Boost, you can feel it catching every bit of kinetic energy and pushing it back into the system. It's efficient, futuristic, and yes, still very much a driver's car. The acceleration curve feels natural, not artificial like some hybrids. The exhaust note, subtle, slightly sporty, and incredibly refined. But hold up, you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds too good for a Dacia, so what's the price? And here's where Dacia decided to flip the game board. They could have easily priced this car around £25,000 or $28,000 considering everything it offers. But when they revealed the figure, jaws dropped across the room. The base model of the 2026 Dacia Sandero will start at just £17,995 in the UK, and about $19,900 in the US. That's right, a full hybrid, advanced tech, semi-autonomous features, and a beautiful interior for under 20 grand. This isn't just competitive, it's disruptive. Dacia is no longer chasing the cheap car crown. They're redefining what smart value means. Driving the 2026 Dacia Sandero feels like peeling back layers of a surprise you didn't know you needed. You sit behind the wheel expecting something ordinary, but what you get is this balance of precision and personality that instantly changes your mood. The throttle response is crisp, not aggressive, just intelligent, and when you tap the accelerator, there's this smooth surge of torque that feels controlled yet eager. The hybrid system blends the electric and petrol power so seamlessly that you'd swear it's fully electric at times. Around town, it glides quietly, almost silently. On highways, the small turbo wakes up and adds this lively hum that gives it a heartbeat. You start to realize this car isn't trying to impress with noise or drama, it's just quietly confident, a feeling that's somehow even more powerful. The suspension tuning is genius. Over rough tarmac, it absorbs imperfections like a cushion of air, but hit a tight corner, and it firms up instantly, like it's reading your next move. That's not something we usually say about a Dacia, and that's what makes this car so shocking. Take it into the countryside, and it truly starts to shine. The steering feels alive, communicating every little texture of the road through your fingertips. The grip levels are exceptional for a compact hatch. Dacia has added a new Drive Flow mode that adjusts throttle sensitivity, steering weight, and battery assist depending on your driving mood. Flick it into Sport, and suddenly the whole car sharpens up. The response becomes instant, the sound deepens, and it feels like a completely different machine. In Eco, it sips fuel like it's in a conservation contest. The balance between those personalities is remarkable. Even the braking system has been re-engineered with electronic modulation, giving you a natural, progressive feel. And when you slow down, the regenerative system quietly feeds energy back to the battery, no drama, no delay. The Sandero also has a hidden trick that Dacia didn't even advertise heavily, a feature they call Stealth Cruise. It's a quiet electric glide mode that activates automatically when the system detects low traffic or residential zones. It allows the car to move purely on electric power for up to 10 minutes without any driver input, keeping emissions to zero and noise to near silence. It's a subtle feature, but one that shows just how much thought went into the details of this car. And speaking of details, the lighting at night deserves its own mention. Those new adaptive LED beams don't just look stunning, they also use micro-lens technology to scan the road and shape the beam pattern so you never blind oncoming traffic. Even the rear indicators use a new, wave motion, animation inspired by luxury brands, but Dacia's done it with its own style, clean, futuristic, and not overdone. But maybe the biggest twist of all is how the 2026 Sandero feels emotionally. It's easy to get lost in horsepower figures and torque numbers, but when you actually spend time in this car, it gives off something else, a sense of effort, of intention. Every switch, every sound, every texture feels deliberately designed to make driving simpler and more enjoyable. Even the infotainment animations are smooth and fast, something that used to be a big criticism of budget cars. The sound system, developed in collaboration with a startup audio brand from Romania, is shockingly crisp. The bass hits deep, vocals are clean, and for once, you can actually hear the difference between Spotify quality and lossless playback. It feels like Dacia wanted to prove a point, that smart engineering and beautiful experience don't need to come with a premium badge. Now, let's talk performance numbers, because that's where things get really fun. The 2026 Sandero clocks a top speed of 132 miles per hour, which puts it above many small hatchbacks in its segment. The hybrid torque gives it instant low-end punch, perfect for overtaking or merging onto the motorway. In sport mode, it holds gears longer, and the fake engine note through the speakers adds a tiny layer of emotion without being cheesy. On the flip side, the electric-only mode is whisper quiet, with barely any vibration. The transition between modes is so smooth that even experienced drivers will struggle to notice it. That's refinement you rarely see in cars even double the price. And it's not just performance for the sake of speed, it's performance for the sake of comfort, predictability, and confidence. Another brilliant touch, the safety suite. Dacia's new 2026 platform uses reinforced lightweight steel combined with energy-absorbing zones that make the car 35% more rigid but also lighter than the old model. It passed all the Euro NCAP tests with flying colors and got a 5-star safety rating. The AI-assisted safety sensors even learn your driving behavior over time. So if you're the kind of person who brakes late or tends to speed up on turns, the system adjusts its warnings accordingly. It's like your car knows you, and adapts. And that's both comforting and kind of amazing. In real-world use, the Sandero's practicality shines just as bright. There are hidden storage compartments under the front seats, a small fridge box in the glove compartment, and rear USB-C ports with fast charging. Even the key fob is new, it doubles as a motion-sensitive tracker that alerts your phone if you leave the car unlocked. Dacia has thought of everything, but what really makes the Sandero special is that it doesn't try to be flashy. It's not screaming for attention. It's quietly confident, a car that knows exactly what it is and does it so well that you end up respecting it far more than you expect. And that brings us to the ending twist, the part that had people whispering after the global reveal. Dacia announced that for a limited time, every early Sandero buyer will get access to a software update called D-Link, which allows full wireless integration with smart home devices. Imagine pulling into your driveway and saying, "Hey Dacia, I'm home," and your lights turn on, your thermostat adjusts, and your garage opens. That's not science fiction anymore, that's the 2026 Sandero. For a brand once known as Europe's cheapest carmaker, that's an almost unbelievable transformation. So, here's the truth, the 2026 Dacia Sandero isn't just a car. It's a statement. It's proof that affordability can still feel premium, that simplicity can still be exciting, and that smart design can still make your heart race. It's the kind of car that challenges everything we thought we knew about what a budget brand could do. And if you've ever laughed at the name Dacia before, this is your wake-up call. Because the game just changed. And now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about the all-new 2026 Dacia Sandero? Does it deserve this level of attention? Would you actually consider buying one if it launched near you at under 20 grand? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, I read every single one, and I'd love to know what you think. If you enjoyed this review and want to see more deep, cinematic car breakdowns just like this, make sure to hit that like button, it helps more than you think, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, the next one is going to blow your mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next ride.